Good morning, everyone. Hey, this is Chad Erickson, and I'm going to give everyone just a minute. We're right at the top of the hour. We'll give everyone who's on here today just another 15 to 20 seconds to come in, and then we'll officially get started on our webinar today. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, welcome everyone to March 1st. It's crazy to think that we're already in March, especially since here in Park City, Utah, we continue to get pounded by snow. I think I've got another foot this week and at least another foot of snow coming over the next 3 to 4 days. So it doesn't feel like we're hitting spring quite yet, but it's still one of my favorite times of the year, and I love it. Hey, here we are. We're into a fun time of year. We're in Q1. We have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm super excited to welcome everybody into our webinar today. So for those of you who don't know me or aren't familiar with MyAdvice, my name is Chad Erickson, and I am the Vice President of Strategy, one of the owners here. And I love hosting the webinars and bringing in our various guests. Today, we welcome in a new partner and a guest of MyAdvice, Skin Type Solutions. Many of you are probably familiar with Dr. Leslie Baumann, who is a world-renowned dermatologist. She and I had an opportunity to record our webinar in advance, and I'm going to play that for you. It's about 25, 26 minutes. We'll do that in a minute. But I'm also joined today by Paul Painter. Paul is the COO at Skin Type Solutions, and he has been with the company since its inception in 2014. And Paul heads up the technology development for the company, and he's really brought Dr. Baumann's vision to life. And I'm going to add a little color there as well. So I met Dr. Baumann and her husband Roger many years ago as they were formulating this idea around creating this skin type for individuals. And I loved what they had. And at the time, I just couldn't figure out how we were going to scale this within our customer base because I saw the need, but the technology hadn't really caught up with it. And then I was at the A4M conference in December, and Paul was there, and we had a chance to connect. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing where you guys have come. And you're going to learn more about that today. And then Paul is going to, since he understands this technology and what's going on perhaps better than anybody, he's going to be available for Q&A after. So a couple of things. This webinar is being recorded, and I, along with our director of marketing, Rachel Lemieux, we're going to be moderating any of the questions that you have, and as well as the chat. So in the bar, feel free at any point to ask those. Again, we're going to just play the recording. Dr. Baumann was going to attend. She had a little bit of a family emergency. We wish her the best with everything she's dealing with right now. She's amazing, and she'll be back shortly. But anyway, we're excited that we're able to get this recorded in advance and that you can learn directly from her and what's going on. So before I start, Paul, anything you want to add before we play the recording?
I just want to thank you, Chad, for hosting the webinar. We're really excited to partner with you guys, and something we've been talking about for some time. I'm excited to hear from your customer base and the thoughts that they have surrounding e-com, and how our goal is to help aesthetic practices sell skincare, make it easier, make their lives easy, but also encourage the idea of recommending skincare to their patients, because everyone at the end of the day is looking for skincare advice. And the people that are most appropriate to do that sometimes don't have the proper time. And so there's a lot of complications going on, and our job is to solve that for them. So super excited to join you, Chad. Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you. And last thing before we get started is at the end of the presentation today, we're going to have a special offer, and it's an amazing incentive. So hang on to the end, because you're going to love what we have to share with you. So with that, Paul and I are going to turn off our video, and I'm going to turn on this recording. So here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode. Today, we are speaking with a very exciting partnership between MyAdvice website development and Skin Type Solutions. With me today, we have the author, board certified dermatologist, lecturer, researcher, and by my understanding, the author of the #2 textbook in dermatology in the world, Dr. Leslie Baumann. Dr. Baumann, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Of course, of course. And with us as well, we have the Vice President of Strategy for MyAdvice website development, Mr. Chad Erickson. Chad, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So I'm going to just jump right into it. So I'll start with you, Chad. Give us a little bit about what is MyAdvice, a little bit about yourself, the company, anything you can kind of give us to just fill us in here.
Happy to. So, give you a little bit of my background. I have been helping aesthetic practices with their marketing since 1999. I'm passionate about helping them with their online marketing, knowing that it's something that's critically important to the success of their practice, yet very foreign to them. They need to be able to focus in on where they specialize. And so I've been doing this since before Google even existed. And so we've been through a lot of iterations. MyAdvice is really come together over the past 10 plus years. My partner and I brought our businesses together. We have offices in New York and Park City, Utah. And what we've done is we've created an online marketing platform to do websites and all the marketing for medical, dental companies. But we've been specifically in the aesthetic space for that 20 plus years now. And so we are all about driving new patients to the practices to help increase.
That's amazing.
What you're doing is really great because I know I was in private practice for a long time, and trying to handle my website is such a pain in the neck. There's always all these SEO things that change that we didn't know about. Now you have all the, I forget what you call it, accessibility rules about if you're blind,
Right.
and all those things that you have to add. I understand you can get fined if you don't have that. So it is so great to have somebody who keeps current on all of that so that I don't have to. That's really great.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's exactly it. We try to put, so it's like you can push the easy button, right? We take care of the ADA compliance, the accessibility you mentioned. We want to make sure that we make it so simple for the reputation management, the social media, the local SEO, that all of those parts are really simplified. And if we do that, we're making your life easier, where you can focus on the things that really, really matter, and that is the patient care.
And we have the same approach with Skin Type Solutions. We want to make the doctor's life easier too with skincare. So I'm a skincare junkie. I love to read all the scientific articles about all the ingredients and try out all the new products. And other people may not have the time or the interest. And I say, delegate that to me because I stay current on it just for fun. It's my hobby, plus it's my business. So with Skin Type Solutions, we help doctors figure out how to build a skincare regimen and personalize it for their patients. And that's what people want. Everybody wants customization these days. So whether it's their website or their skincare regimen, you and I are both in the same business of trying to stay current on things so that doctors don't have to and they can concentrate on medicine.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Dr. B, why don't you give us a little bit of insight into how you came up with the concept of, STS, skin typing, specifically the system, and then we can, just move on from there.
So I was a professor of dermatology at the University of Miami for 13 years, and I wrote a skincare book that was a New York Times bestseller, and I had a PBS special. So I had people from all over the world coming to see me and wanting skincare regimens. But I was at a university and they wouldn't let me hire more staff. So I was having to spend 45 minutes a patient. You can't see very many people in a day. And so I had to figure out a way to make things go faster in my practice and make it more efficient and help my staff help me. But I wanted the staff to stay current on all of the recommendations. So if there's a new eye cream out, I wanted to make sure everybody was prescribing that new eye cream to the right people. So I figured out that there are 16 different skin types. I spent 19 years researching this and figuring out which of those skin types needs what ingredients. I actually have 40,000 different skincare regimen templates that we've tested, which is crazy. There's so many different templates. But I did it so that patients can take a questionnaire, which we spent years validating, to accurately find out their skin type. Then the software will generate a regimen, depending on what brands the doctor wants to sell. It'll generate a regimen. And then the staff can give that regimen to the patient. And we know the patient's going to get the right things and the right recommendations for their skin type. And it's all automated. So it saved me so much time at the university. And in 2014, we started letting other doctors use it. And so here we are. So now we have 220 doctors using the system.
That's amazing. And if I'm correct, 220 doctors in 37 states nationwide?
I think so, but I can't remember exactly how many states, but we are all over.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
We're even in
definitely...
Hawaii.
Exactly. Even Hawaii. Yes, absolutely. Chad, from your perspective, what are some of the struggles that an office typically has with maybe starting and developing an e-commerce platform, whether it comes to skincare or, just specifically for their office?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because part of what I love about MyAdvice is we feel like a part of our job and our name is that we are always on the outlook for other companies that can make our clients' lives better. And in this case, what we found with Skin Type Solutions with STS is it's easy, it's automated, and it's another revenue source. And that's something that I think every practice really can understand. So you think about the struggles. We build shopping carts and have been building shopping carts for years. Well, let me tell you about some of the challenges. The easy part is putting a shopping cart on a website and connecting to a merchant service. That's easy. Where it gets difficult is you need pictures of every product. You need to add product descriptions. Those change on a regular basis. What about your shipping and fulfillment? What are you going to do about specials? What are you going to charge in all your taxes? All those other parts that come into play. There's so many little nuances behind the scenes. And then if your supplier changes, they drop a product, they add products, who's maintaining that within the office to make sure that the website is current? Because as a web company, we can make the changes, but we're not the ones that are proactively on the front end with them. And so if nobody's telling us, then you might have outdated information on the website. And so it's a challenge to maintain. So when you think about all those barriers, I think the pressure on these practices is they want to offer skincare. They know their patients need it. But when you look at just the high cost, and I'm not talking about what they have to outlay to teach company to have product within their practice. I'm talking about the human capital side of it and the mental piece to maintain it. That is the challenge, and they don't have enough bodies in the office to do that, plus everything else they need. So it actually, at a certain point, it's kind of like it's not worth it. So what I love about STS is it's now saying I can do this because all I have to do is add the cart to my site and everything else is handled. So Dr. Baumann, when you talked about the fact that you've automated it and made it easy, as I've learned more and more about this, I'm like, I need to share this with every one of our customers because they need this. They want this, but it's a barrier. It has been a barrier, and it's now a solution, which I love.
It's funny you bring us up some of those issues because we actually have a full-time person who maintains the online pricing, because a company can change the price, and let's say they raise the price 10%, but you don't realize that, so you're still selling it at the old price, and you might even be losing money on your sales without realizing it. And they change the names of the products all the time. It is very challenging to keep up with it. But we have a whole team of people who do all of that for you. So we're a turnkey e-commerce retail solution. So even though doctors use this in their practice, after COVID, when people wanted to work from home and figure out ways to offer patients consults and things like that from home, a lot of the doctors came to us and said, we really want to do e-commerce. So back in early 2021, we put together a very robust e-commerce platform. So the doctor picks what products they want to sell, what brands they like. So let's say that you are a big Jan Marini fan or a big SkinCeuticals fan. you choose that you want to sell those products, and those are the ones that pop into the regimens going forward. So even if your patient goes online to the online site, they'll see what products you like and what you sell in your practice. So whether they buy them in your office or they buy them online, they're getting consistent information. And that took a long time to program and develop. The infrastructure of our website is very robust. So although it seems super easy to the doctors and the patients, it is many levels of accuracy that go into that.
That's amazing. Well, so Chad laid out a lot, and Dr. B, you both laid out a lot from like an operator or an operations standpoint, right? But I'm very curious as to Dr. B, your perspective as a provider, as a cosmetic dermatologist that's been in, you know, on the ground floor and seeing patients since really like the aesthetic boom within, you know, medicine. How has Skin Type Solutions benefited you as a provider, as a medical professional, not just, you know, a business owner and a you know, a company?
Well, it makes my staff is able to give the same skincare recommendations that I would give, knowing that my patients are getting the right thing. And then we have customer journeys where they will hold their hand through the process. So at day 30, it'll say you should be seeing these changes. If you're not seeing these changes, click here, and it'll give them information about what to do. At day 60, what to do. Day 90, what to do. It reminds them to refill, because if patients aren't going to be compliant and they're not going to use their products, then they're not going to be successful. So what we find is when people get a good outcome and their skin looks great, their patients, their friends will ask them, what are you doing to your skin? And they'll say, oh, I have this great doctor. And it really increases referrals. So I know that MyAdvice is in the business of sending new patients. So are we, because we are out there with a direct-to-consumer outreach. Our blogs are getting, it goes up every day, but at least 50,000 clicks a day on our blogs. And those people, we can refer those patients to you. So we're also in the business of sending people patients and following up with those patients and keeping those patients engaged, whether it's social media or whether it's on blogs or different videos and things like that. So it just has made educating my patients and communicating with my patients and my staff so much easier and more streamlined.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, just as a person who's, you know, learning about it as you guys are saying it, which I'm sure anybody that's watching it right now would really feel the same. This just seems like an absolute no-brainer in terms of like a partnership, right? So, Chad, why don't you let us know a little bit more about that partnership?
Manny, you nailed it when you said no-brainer, right? That's how I look at it, and so as I think about this, and I'm like, everybody I've been talking to over the past couple weeks, I'm like, hey, what do you do about your skincare? What do you do this? And they're like, introduce me. I've not had one single person say, I've already got it taken care of. Every single person has said, will you please introduce me? I've been looking for something better than what I have, or I don't have anything. I've been looking for something. And so my philosophy is it's a win-win-win solution, which is great, as it should be. Every partnership should be able to create that triad, in my opinion. And that's exactly what I see here, because what we're looking to do and what we've put together through this partnership is that we have a marketing package so that anybody that comes to us that's a Skin Type Solution, customer, we can immediately add the shopping cart link to the website and make that seamless. But also for anybody that signs up for a new site with us, it's also with Skin Type, we'll make sure that website link is added on. We will make sure it's prominent, because we want to help drive traffic to that. We recognize it as a revenue source for the business. And so we will be able to incorporate that right from the get-go and coordinate with the STS team to make sure that the logo and colors and everything is given to them as they are really framing the cart on behalf of the customer. So really being able to have that symbiotic relationship is going to make it so seamless for the practices to know that their website's taken care of, that the shopping cart is done, and that everything is really meshed together in a very simple way.
And we're so glad to know you, because we create content for our licensees. We have a content calendar, so maybe it's melasma month or rosacea month or Mother's Day or whatever, and we give that content to our doctors, but they haven't been great about doing anything with that content. So now we're going to be able to have them use your services where you're going to take the content we develop and get it out there and get them more
Totally.
followers and do it for them. So that's
Exactly
going to
it.
be
And
very wonderful.
it is. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot to mention that part with the social media, because we post for our customers 4 times a week on Facebook and Instagram. So anybody that's also using Skin Type Solutions will be able to
Wow.
incorporate those posts onto the social media and help drive that traffic to the cart as well, so that we're helping increase sales that way and creating and that awareness. Because as you mentioned, we want to make sure that we're also part of that reminder group, right? You've got your system set up, keep people in the regimen using it. We want to make sure that we're getting new ones in, as well as keeping people engaged. So it's just a win-win. If we can keep everybody happy, we create customers for life, and we love it.
Right.
Well, those raving
Chad,
fans is what we talk about.
Oh, sorry, I got so excited. I don't know if you know this, but we generate a link or a QR code or whatever format the doctor needs it, and they can post that on their social media or somewhere else, and the patient can either scan it if it's a QR code, click it if it's a link. It will come directly to the website where they take the quiz, and we track it. We know it's that doctor, and that doctor gets a % of sales. And then that patient customer journey encourages that patient to go in and see the doctor. So it's a wonderful way to convert your social media followers to clients. And I mean, not only patients, but also people who are purchasing products from you. And it's just so easy. And one of the reasons I did that is, as a dermatologist, when I'm at a party, somebody always comes up to me and says, what do you think I should use? What's the best eye cream? What moisturizer should I use? And now, instead of having to have that long conversation, I can have them scan a QR code at a party and then get right into my system.
Yeah, and going back to the whole marketing piece, that's just from my experience within the aesthetic community. Every time that I've gone to a conference or something, whenever there is a marketing like a talk or something like that, it's standing room only. It's one of those huge pieces that everybody wants, but not everybody really just gets. So in order for you guys to provide such a service along with Skin Type Solutions, it's just kind of like, adding that extra, 20 horsepower to a really good engine already. And it's just, you guys are going to fly. It's amazing.
Yeah. Another thing we do in our questionnaire when they find out their skin type, there's a list of cosmetic concerns. And the question specifically said, which of these would you like to discuss with your doctor? So you're opening up the door to ask these questions. So I always joke, if somebody has a fat neck and they come in, you can't look at them and say, you have a fat neck, you should get Kybella, because that's rude. But if they told you on a questionnaire that they have a fat neck and they want to talk about it, then that opens the door. So when you're giving these links out, or the quiz in your waiting room, or however you're giving the quiz out, you're gathering this data of cosmetic concerns, and then you could use that to market direct campaigns to people. So if anybody said they had neck fat, you could do a Kybella campaign for them. So that's why having this partnership with MyAdvice is going to be wonderful, because we always had the data. We always knew who wanted to talk about Kybella, but we didn't have a way to go out and do that for the doctors.
Manny, one other thing I want to talk about is that I think is a benefit, and I was talking to some colleagues this morning about this. As you look back at the recession that happened in starting in 07, 08, and kind of continued a little bit through 09 to 10, the things that people cut back on were surgeries, aesthetic surgery, eye surgeries, those things. What did not happen is cutbacks on skincare did not happen. And as we're looking ahead right now, I'm not trying to put any fear in anybody, but it's just a reality. All the leading indicators show that we're probably headed towards a moderate recession at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And one of the best ways to prepare for that is to create this additional revenue stream with skincare, knowing that I hate to say recession proof, but people care about their skin. They care about the things that are very visible, skincare and teeth. So if their smile is white and their skincare is good, they're going to continue to pay for those things, and they're going to figure out a way to pay for those. So just think about that also, recognizing that hey, you might see a downturn in some of your other procedures, but this is a way to offset that or increase it during this time. And so if I were in your shoes as a med spa, dermatologist, plastic surgeon, etc., I would absolutely be looking to add this in and streamline this right now.
And I have two things to add to that. Number one, did you know that when there's a recession, lipstick and skincare sales go up? They used to call it the lipstick factor. So people like to buy things that aren't that expensive that will make them feel better about themselves. So for sure, if there's a recession, we expect skincare sales to go up even more. And then the other thing is the biggest segment of the skincare market that's growing the fastest is physician dispensed skincare. So patients and consumers, they want their doctor to tell them what to use. And because there's so much advice out there, so many influencers, but they want somebody who knows what they're talking about and somebody they can trust. So if you're not selling skincare in your practice, not only are you missing out on income, but you're also not giving patients the healthy skin they deserve. If they have a healthier canvas to work with, all your cosmetic procedures are going to work better because their skin is getting better just from the skincare alone. So I would never do Botox on somebody that wasn't on a good skincare regimen, because I tell my patients it's like eating right every day versus going to a health spa once or twice a year. You really have to eat right every day to be healthy. Same thing with your skin. You need to take care of it every day.
Well, and it's protecting your investment as well, right? So from a consumer standpoint, if I'm going to spend X amount on a procedure or filler or toxin, and then I'm going to go home and wash my face with Dove soap, it doesn't make any sense. So it's, you want to protect that initial investment and keep your skin as healthy as possible.
Absolutely.
It's
There's something else I wanted to talk about too, as far as brands. Right now, if you go and you decide you're going to sell skincare in your practice and you want to sign up with one of these brands, they usually have a $2,500 to $3,000 minimum for their brand. When you go through us, you don't have that problem because we have relationships with over 40 brands. So if you want one SKU, which means a product from one brand and another SKU from another brand, you can do that and you don't have to worry. And if you don't want to carry any inventory at all, you don't have to. You could just use the e-commerce facilities that we have. And we have a huge, beautiful warehouse that we've had for about 9 years. And so even if you've chosen, let's say, 5 different brands for the patient to get, they're not going to get one product in one of those yucky envelopes like you get from Amazon, and they're getting 5 different envelopes and they all come at different times. That's not how it is. It comes in one box, even though it's all the different brands, with the Skin Type Solutions logo. They're packed very nicely, and it's kept in an air-conditioned warehouse, so we know that the products have efficacy. So it just is a much better experience for your patients than any of the other online e-commerce choices that they have. Unless you're going to go with one brand only and it's going to be shipped from SkinCeuticals, we still believe we're nicer than that. But if you're not going to be sticking with one brand, then we're really an obvious choice, because how those things get delivered means a lot about you and your brand as a doctor too.
And it really sets you apart as a provider, because it shows that you are caring about what you're carrying, and maybe not, Dr. B would attest that not every single brand makes the best of each an individual product. So if as a provider you say, you know what, I'm going to have the best cleansers, the best moisturizers, the best SPFs, that type of care shows to the patients. So you always want to have a variety of different brands, and that's always important.
We're what I call brand agnostic, meaning we don't care about the brand. We care about the efficacy, and we want the products to work. So if let's say you have 3 Medi-Spas and one is in a very wealthy area and one's not, you can choose one brand for the wealthy area and another brand for the other area and still have the same system and not have to worry about it. You'll know your patients are still getting the right products. So we've been doing this since 2013, so we have all the problems figured out. So except the marketing, which we need you for, and the website development, because we're a store. We're not a website developed company like you are.
That's where we're happy to help as well. We want these practices to attract more customers. We want them to be able to have an easy way to get the cart added and continue to attract the right people in. So we love it. We see so many great synergies between the two organizations. So thank you.
That's perfect. So wrapping up, final thoughts, at least from my perspective. Again, I'm going to go with the same exact term. This is a no-brainer. It just makes sense. With my experience with Skin Type Solutions for about 4 years, that was always a big piece that so many providers really needed in terms of service, in terms of advice. It's a huge, huge piece. Dr. B, any final thoughts or anything?
No, I'm just really, really excited to be working with you all again. We met you years ago, and then we all got so busy with COVID, and both of our companies have grown so much, and it's great to be back in touch and working together again. And I look forward to a very fulfilling partnership.
Dr. Baumann, thank you, and thank you, Manny. We feel the same way, and feel like the timing is right, and we love what you have done. We love the 40,000 algorithm ideas that are there to help people get the right solution for them, and the way that this is so simple and so easy for these practices to now offer skincare to all their patients in a simple way that removes all those headaches we talked about earlier, and we can work together to make sure that everybody succeeds.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, honestly, both for taking the time to sit here and give us all that information. I'm sure anybody that's watching it right now is super appreciative of this. This has been incredibly informative, super exciting about the partnership, and I can't wait to see what the next couple months brings between MyAdvice and STS. So anyone watching, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we make another one of these soon, so we can do like a little update video to see how everything's going. Yeah.
And for our YouTube channel, there's a link down in the bio to MyAdvice if you want to get in touch with them, and also a link to us at Skin Type Solutions. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Have a good day.
See everybody.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, everybody for hanging in there with us. She's amazing. Don't you just love her energy and everything that she brings to the table? Her knowledge and is really second to none in the space. So phenomenal. So Paul, thank you. We have a few questions, Paul. If you've got a few minutes, let me throw a few things over your way. That kind of came in. So one of the questions that came up is, what popular brands do you carry?
Well, we have over 40 brands, but some of the more common ones that people may have heard of: SkinCeuticals, Alastin, Dermamade. Those are some of the brands. We have some exclusive brand partnerships as well. Some brands like Soapy, Xerify, things you wouldn't find on other places on the internet. That also creates this sort of retention, stickiness with your patients. So when Dr. Baumann when she talks about, you can set the brands, you have a full e-com store with all these brands, but when the patient completes the quiz, they get a product recommendation. Those 40,000, as Dr. B said, templates, that unique algorithm that is very specific to that individual patient, that populates with the products and brands that you choose as a physician. So from there, you would choose maybe some of the ones like, if it's an affluent neighborhood, like Dr. Brown was mentioning, SkinCeuticals is one of the more higher end brands from a price point perspective. And then there's some middle tier and lower tier and all the same efficacy, which is great. So yeah, the list goes on and on. We have anyone can visit our website and kind of see the full list there as well.
That's awesome. Another question is, if somebody wanted to still carry physical product in their office, can they do that, or is there a conflict?
They can absolutely sell in the office. And with some physician dispense brands, they've got some requirements. So as long as the practice meets those requirements to be considered a physician dispensed practice, then they're able to participate with the in-office sales as well. So yeah, our online e-com components really completely hands off. So don't need to touch anything in the office, no inventory. However, you can also have a really hands-on experience by carrying that inventory and even offering the quiz in your practice as well, using that e-com store as a supplemental piece of the business as well. Awesome.
And then tell us a little bit about the shipping. One of the other questions was, how quickly does that work? How fast is someone going to get their product?
So orders are processed same day before 2 p.m. Eastern. Our warehouse team will have all that packed and shipped out same day. We use UPS to ship all the packages. So time in transit depends on where you are related to Miami. But within a few days, everyone has their products typically. And so, yeah, I mean, just as a quick, someone goes to the website, you're driving traffic to the doctor's website, they click the link, they take their quiz, they find out what skin type they are, they can shop by that skin type, place their order, and products out the door in a beautiful box with nice, it's a very nice experience for that patient receiving that one box on their doorstep as well.
Awesome. All right. The one thing I want to do right now is we told everybody there was a special offer, so I wanted to share this with everybody. Thank you again, everyone, for who's participated and been with us today. So this is pretty awesome. Let me share this with you so you can see this. All right. There we go. Okay, so first of all, if you want to learn a little bit more about how this could work in your practice, what the dashboard looks like for tracking, understanding, discounting, everything else that goes into it, what the commissions look like, I invite you to please scan that QR code right now. This is going to help you set up your free demo with the Skin Type Solutions team, and they'll be able to really help you on a personalized basis. Now, in regards to the special offer we've put together for everybody who's attended our webinar today, or who's listening, even on the recording, we'll still offer it and honor it for a few of you as well. But we're going to offer half off of the onboarding cost with Skin Type Solutions. So the setup fee, half off. Second is that for the first 10 practices who sign up, you're going to receive 3 months free from Skin Type Solutions. And then what we're going to do with MyAdvice, as I mentioned on the webinars, we're going to make it very, very simple. Now, it takes some time, a little bit of work to make sure we get the right links. We've got the calls to action, but we'll take care of that. So that couple of hours of work, if you're one of our clients, we manage your website, we'll do that. If not, we'll work, with whoever your web team is and make sure that happens. And then lastly is that we will take care of the social media posting for you as well. So if you're one of our clients, you're going to get those social media posts, and many of you already have social power with us. So we're going to post for you automatically to help drive that traffic in. So that's how that's going to work. So again, scan that QR code right now. Leave that up here a little bit longer so they can do that. Go ahead,
Chad,
Paul.
I'll just interrupt real quick. The bullet points aren't showing some of your details for the special offer.
Okay, well, I know where to find it. Hang on a sec. So scan the QR code. I'll leave that up there. And let me.
Yeah, so while you're doing that, I'll just I'll make a few comments. Definitely, it's it doesn't hurt to talk to our team. And really what we want to know is this right for your practice? One of the things our team's talk to you about is, what are your goals from a skincare perspective? What types of things are you doing to generate revenue? And where, so where does skincare fall in on that? And how hands-on or hands-off do you want to be? And so through that conversation, it really tells us, where we can help. And that's obviously our goal. So one of the things, when we build out your website on the e-com side, which Chad refers to as the cart, there's a cost associated. We're gonna invest half of that cost. We're gonna take care of half of that for you guys, because we really want you guys to join and make this partnership work. And also for the first 10 practices that are signing up, we want to offer you 3 months for free. So that's going to be on the house for us as well. Continuing to invest in this relationship, and appreciate the effort that MyAdvice is also going to do to support you guys. At the end, what we talk about on our side is, offering a new service in your practice. And that's how we think about e-com. You've got machines, lasers, all types of things, depending on what type of practice you are, but really having a revenue generating store that your patients can access anytime. A lot of statistics talk about the times that most people shop online. It's in the evening, on the weekends, when they have more free time, and that's when your practice is typically closed. So we want to be able to open that up for you and really give you an opportunity to capture that revenue and capture that that increase in the skincare physician dispense market that Dr. B referred to on the call. There's a lot of great things going on with that, and really we want to help you participate. And I think Chad illustrated it perfectly on the call of how difficult and challenging it is. So, that's why we're in business, where our goal was to remove all those barriers and those obstacles and, hit the easy button. Right, Chad?
Right. That's exactly it. So again, one more time, here's the QR code. So scan this and it's going to take you over to a quick little landing page. You'll be able to schedule your time. So anyway, we're really excited about that. Paul, any final thoughts from your end?
I mean, it was a fantastic webinar. I think that the conversation between you and Dr. Baumann, Chad, was great. Dr. Baumann's a real visionary in her field, and that's why we've been together now. It's going to be 10 years working with Dr. Baumann and on this concept of skin typing and what it's really done. And it's her goal is to change the way people shop for skincare, and that means by going to your provider and really understanding your skin type and having the crazy amount of selection of products narrowed down to something that's finite. Says this is for you, reduce the decision making, get the clarity that you need to get on the right skincare. And ultimately, sunscreen is one of our #1 priorities, and reducing skin cancer rates and all that. So when you think about Dr. B's vision and what she's really done to progress this forward, we've spent a lot of time and effort investing in the technology and really developing it out. And then now having so many physicians that have been using it for so long, it's been great. And so that's why I invite everybody who's listening to this call to really learn more and see if it's a good fit.
Awesome. Paul, thank you for being here today and joining us. We thank all of you who've attended as well, and for your questions and your participation. And I hope you'll take away from this that this is a way to really enhance your practice. It's another revenue stream. It's a way to make your life easier, but it's also a way to really serve your patients, your customers, and help them improve their skin with the right products for them, without adding a burden to you. So anyway, I'm super excited about this and what I think it means for all of our customers as well. So Paul, thank you, and appreciate your time, and we'll see all of you later on this month with our next webinar. Take care.
Thanks,
and talk
Chad.
to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Appreciate it.